Hey, today is day 14 of my Talk to a Camera challenge, and it's been 2 weeks. Every single day I've talked to the camera, and it's actually getting way easier than it was. I'm still not quite sure who you are or why you're listening, but it's given me lot more confidence to talk to the camera and to just feel like I've actually got something to say. Today I want to talk about the idea of going traveling. So I'm 36, and so far when it comes to traveling the world, the only place that I've gone is New Zealand and within Australia. Haven't been anywhere else. Now I know for some people that's a lot of traveling. There's a lot of people who don't get to travel. But there's also people my age who have travelled all around the world. And one day I would love to do that. Now before I get into why I'm wanting to travel, let me just tell you why I haven't. Essentially my list of a bunch of excuses why I haven't travelled. So number one is I have kids. That's excuse number one. So kids are extremely expensive to travel with, and they kind of suck the fun out of it a little bit. So there's a big difference between going on an adult holiday and going on a kid's holiday. So by having kids around, you find that just the general vibe of the holiday is a lot more about go, exhaustion, doing things you don't necessarily want to do to keep their kids happy, knowing that no matter what you do or what you spend, the kids will whinge and complain, and it's just a different vibe than when you get to go either alone with someone or you go by yourself, or even maybe if you travel with older kids. But certainly when you've got little ones, it kind of sucks some of the enjoyment out of it from my experience. I've done plenty of little holidays down south of WA. I've done one cruise with kids, and while it's fun and you can still have a good time, it's when you think of just how expensive it is to take all those extra people, it's often easy to just sort of think we'll do something nearby. We won't worry about doing the international travel. Obviously, if you're doing an international trip for 1 or 2 people, you can get away with flights for maybe $4 to $8 when you add 4 kids on, all of a sudden that's $20,000 just in flights. So it does make saving for the holiday much more expensive. Now the second excuse that I use is that I am too busy. I'm always working. I don't really have time for holidays, which is really my own silly fault. I need to really plan those holidays and actually put that time in my calendar. And look, I have had a few holidays over the years, but typically we've done something more local. And because I work all year, when I do have a break, sometimes I really just want to chill and be at home. I don't really feel like traveling around the world and exhausting myself. So they're probably the 2 main reasons why I haven't traveled. And I guess I've always had a partner, and it's been largely directed by them and when they're ready to travel and what they want to do. It's not one of those things I just plan and do myself. As far as why I want to travel the world, there's a few reasons. First of all, I'm fascinated by how diverse the world is. Different locations, different weather, different animals, different plants and scenes and things that we can look at. There's people, there's cultures, there's different languages. And I think I'm pretty ignorant of a lot of the world because I'm kind of just been in one place my whole life. I kind of pretty up to scratch with how things are locally here, but I actually wouldn't have a clue what it's like in another country, and I think it would be a real privilege to be able to actually go to these places and discover what it's like. I have a feeling it'd be a rude shock in certain parts of the world to see just how fortunate I am where I live, and I think it would be pretty amazing to sort of see some of the major cities out there and to sort of see how big they are compared to the little small town of Mandurah that I live in. I want to go around the world to experience different things, to see different things. And I think as well is when you're on holidays and you're traveling, life is fun and exciting. It's not just the same old where you get up, get dressed, go to work, come home, hang out for a bit and go back to bed, and the whole thing starts over again. The routine is disrupted, things are exciting. It kind of doesn't matter where you're traveling. You're in a new, interesting, exciting place. There's a sense of adventure that comes with traveling. So where exactly do I want to travel? There's really an endless list, but there is probably a priority list. One place I definitely would love to visit is Japan. I think Japan would be a great place to go. I hear it's beautiful, but also culturally, I'm fascinated by it. A lot of my favourite games are made in Japan, and I love that sort of gaming culture that comes from that part of the world. There's also a few other places that I'm pretty keen to visit. I think England, being able to see the castles and the sort of medieval ancient places would be quite fascinating. Here in Australia, the oldest building you see is 150, 200 years old. So to see something that's literally 10 centuries old would be incredible. I would also love to visit Egypt, see the pyramids, see these amazing sort of man-made or alien-made or however they were made, thousands upon thousands of years ago. To actually just see that feat of, structural engineering, something that old lasting that long, is quite miraculous. I also wouldn't mind going to the US, I think, just to experience what it's like over there. It's not so much for the, what's over there. I think it's just the places to go, the people to visit. I've got some family over there as well. It's where Dad came from. It's where he grew up when he was little in Texas. So it would be interesting to just go over there and travel and see the world a little bit. As far as my plans to travel, that's something that I definitely want to start making some definitive actions towards, not just talk about one day, someday. I think actually putting some solid steps in place, actually book some tickets, book some flights, put something in reality. So that is probably my goal, is in the next 12 months to have an overseas trip, whether that's starting just in Bali or somewhere nearby, or whether we go somewhere else around the world. But that's something I want to do in the future, which is travel. I'd be interested to know if there's any places you would want to visit. Is there any other reasons that's holding you guys back from traveling? Thanks for watching.